this is a new type of thing I'm trying to do, but I'm gonna try to grade each team separate position-wise and do overall grading pretty much. Just give a whole recap of the team and what I think about it. So, first off, I'm gonna go off my grade scale of the overall for the team. An A+, a perfect team pretty much, Super Bowl winner. Nobody's beating them. And I can promise you, no one has that grade. Then an A is a Super Bowl team. They're missing a few positions, maybe just one. A- is a playoff team. They need some work in some positions. A B+ needs work at some positions, just a little bit more than a playoff team, maybe just more experience. But they have playoff potential. Then a B is a wild card maybe team, but they're missing some key positions. And a B- is a wild card long shot team pretty much for me. And it needs a good amount of work with the younger players and needs some more experience. The C needs a lot of work. Some older guys need filtered out with young guys, and the young guys just need more experience. They're just missing some firepower / key positions, and it may be time to start a rebuild thought. D's just a crapshoot, and these players have a lot of positions. It's definitely in a rebuild. And the F, of course, dumpster fire banana baby. And it needs players at almost every position. Just needs a complete rebuild and complete wipe across the board. So first, the conference we're going to start with is the AFC East. We will start this conference with New England Patriots. Where at QB, they have Tom Brady and Jarrett Stidham, which I gave a grade as an A, because you can never doubt Tom Brady. Even though he's not as great as what he used to be, it's still Tom Brady. Then at running back, they have Sony Michel, James White, Rex Burkhead, and Damian Harris, which I gave an A, because that's one of the best running back cores in freaking NFL, pretty much. No one could almost top that. And then the wide receivers, they have Julian Edelman, Josh Gordon, Philip Dorsett, and N'Keal Harry. I gave this an A-, because they do need at least one more, I feel like. Decent wide receiver would be nice for them. And they are in the market for a wide receiver, which does make sense since it is the Patriots. Then at tight end, the only name, I only put their first stringer on here because they don't really have a big name tight end. They don't really have a good tight end either. So I just put Mac Lacoste. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. And I gave it a B- because it's the Patriots. They use their tight ends, but they need more. They need someone better. Which is kind of sad coming from the Patriots who used to have Rob Gronkowski. Then at defensive end, they have, of course, Larry Sky, Deodric White, and they drafted Chase Winovich. So I thought this is pretty solid. I gave him a B+ here. Then defensive tackle, they had Danny Shelton, Adam Butler. Also thought this is pretty solid. I gave D+, B+ here. And at the other defensive end, they have John Simon, Michael Bennett. I thought this was solid again. I gave him a B+. Of course, this is the number one defense in the NFL right now. So they're going to grade out pretty well. And at linebacker, Jamie Collins and Shaquille Calhoun. And Jamie Collins seems to be back from his Patriot form from before and threw away the brown Jamie Collins. So I gave him an A- for that. Then at middle linebacker, you have Dante Hightower, Landon Roberts, and Juwan Bentley. Dante Hightower's great middle linebacker, one of the best in the league. So I gave him A- because I would have liked to see a little bit better depth. Then the other linebacker position, you have Kyle Van Noy, Shalike Calhoun, and I gave it a B+ because they're still developing pretty much. Then at cornerback, I have Jason McCourty, Stephon Gilmore, John Jones, Deron Horman, and Jaquan Williams. This group really just needs more experience, so I gave it a B+. At free safety, they have Devin McCourty, which I gave it A- because I would like to see a little more depth. And at strong safety, I have Patrick Chung, which I gave an A- because I would like to see a little more depth. So, as you can see, this New England Patriots team is stacked, as the starters are really loaded, and they could use a little bit more depth, but it's the Patriots. I gave them an A, as more likely they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Then on to the next team, which is the Buffalo Bills. As they have Josh Allen and Matt Barkley at quarterback, and I gave them an A- there, as I would like to see a little bit better backup caliber QB behind Josh Allen in case he does get hurt. But Matt Barkley isn't absolutely terrible. Then at running back, I have Frank Gore, Devin Singletary, TJ Yeldon. I gave this a B because Frank Gore's old. He's just old. He can't keep doing this. He's having a fantastic year, but he can't keep doing this. Devin Singletary needs more experience to make sure he can get where he is. TJ Yeldon's just someone who can catch the ball and run with it. Now, wide receiver, we have John Roberts, Andre Roberts, Cole Beasley, and Robert Foster. And Robert Foster, my gosh, he's done pretty well. But I gave it a B because there's no one that just grabs out to you and says, look at me, I'm fantastic. I would like to see a good number one starting caliber wide receiver on here. But who knows? Someone could grab out and go grab that title for the Buffalo Bills. And at tight end, we have Tyler Kroft, who I gave a C because he's not a big, well-known name, and it's just, he's not that great at all. And at defensive end, we got Trent Murphy, who's a pretty good defensive end. Well, better than pretty good. But I gave him an A- because we are missing some depth there. Then at defensive tackle, we got Ed Oliver, Star Lutulili, and Jordan Phillips. I gave that crew a B+ because I like what I see in Ed Oliver, and I think they can work with it. And if Ed Oliver becomes a star, this group is definitely an A. Then at defensive end, we got Jerry Hughes, who I've gave a B because he's good, he's solid, and he keeps it going, but he needs a little bit more depth behind. The other defensive end, I got Jerry Hughes and Shaw Lawson. I gave it a B because I would like to see a little bit better depth. It's just hard to tell at this point. Now at the linebacking position, we have Lorenzo Alexander, who I gave a B because he's alright. He ain't great, but he works. Then at the middle linebacker, we got Tremaine Edmonds, who I gave an A- because he's a pretty good middle linebacker, but he's got no depth behind him, which is the case with pretty much this whole linebacking core. As Matt Milano's the other linebacker, who I gave a B, but there's no depth behind him again. It's just, you don't like to see that. Then at the cornerback position, we got Tre'Davious White, Levi Wallace, Tarek Johnson, and Kevin Johnson, which I gave a B+, which easily probably would have been an A with more depth. Well, A- if they had more depth, but it would have been an A if they have another top tier cornerback. But Tre'Davious White just lightens up that cornerback crew for them. And then at free safety, we got Micah Hyde, one of the best in the game, but I gave it an A- because there's about no depth behind him. Then at the strong safety, we have Jordan Poyer, who I gave a B+, which is also why I gave the team overall, because I don't think they're ready for the Super Bowl, but they are definitely a playoff team. Then we got the Jets, who have Sam Darnold and Luke Falk. Luke Falk's not great, so I gave him an A- because of that, but Sam Darnold is definitely the future there in New York. Then in the running back core, we got Le'Veon Bell, Ty Montgomery, and Bilal Powell. And I gave it a B+, because Le'Veon Bell is not performing up to where he needs to. And Ty Montgomery and Bill Powell is not that great for backups. I would like to see better from the New York Jets for that. Now, wide receiver, we got Quincy Enunwa, Robbie Anderson, Josh Bellamy, Jameson Crowder, and Demaryius Thomas, which I give a B, because I really like this wide receiver core. Quincy Enunwa and Robbie Anderson definitely got some potential. Josh Bellamy, same way. And Demaryius Thomas getting older, he's not doing as well as what he used to, but he definitely has potential to do better still. Then at tight end, we got Ryan Griffin, he's okay. That's all I gotta say about that, but I would like to see more depth for there too. Then at defensive end, we got Leonard Williams, which surprisingly people are talking about just trading, but I just don't see happening. Especially unless they get a first round pick, they probably won't trade Leonard Williams, as he does a really good job complimenting the defensive tackle next to him and Quentin Williams, who I gave both of those players an A- because they're really good players, just need more depth behind them. And then at the other defensive end position, we got Henry Anderson, who he's all right. I would like to see him starting, so I gave him C. I would love to see someone else starting. He's really good for backup, though. But then at linebacker position, we got Harvey Landy, he's okay. I'd like to see better, though. I'd like to see Blake Cashman actually out here at linebacker, but that's not the case, as he is playing middle linebacker along with C.J. Mosley and Neville Hewitt, which I gave that core an A, because C.J. Mosley and Blake Cashman is really good starter and backup with potential, who can maybe move to the outside linebacker position to start eventually. And the other outside linebacker position is Jordan Jenkins, who I give a C because he doesn't have any depth behind him, and he's an alright player. Then at the cornerback position, we got Tremaine Johnson, Darryl Roberts, Ryan Poole, and Arthur Mallett, which I gave a B because it's an alright crew. I'd like to see more. It's just, there's no one spectacular on it, but they are pretty solid here. They have free safety when we got Marcus Mai and Matthias Farley, which I gave a B+, because Marcus Mai is definitely living up to potential, and Matthias Farley is a really good backup to have if you were to have backup. And Farley does also play some strong safety where he can back up Jamal Adams. So, what a great find for the Jets and Farley. And the strong safety positions an A, with the free safety position of B+. But overall, this team is a C average, as they're still working, they're still rebuilding. Sam Darnold's almost there to being his top tier QB, but they're still on the works to getting to that point. And the last team in the league, of course, we got the Miami Dolphins. Great franchise at the moment, where we got Josh Rosen and Ryan Fitzpatrick at the quarterback position, which I gave a B because Josh Rosen does have some potential still, and he actually has a lot more potential than what people think, I believe. And then we got Ryan Fitzpatrick backing him up, who's pretty good as a backup and can create some magic sometimes as a starter. And then at the running back position, we got Kenyon Drake, Karen Ballage, and Mark Walton, which I gave a B because it's a pretty good running back core, but it's just, this team's not great. You can't really showcase how good of a runner you are since there is no offensive line, which kind of sucks for them. Then at the wide receiver position, we have Devontae Parker, Jakeem Grant, Albert Wilson, Preston Williams, and Allen Hurns. I actually don't mind this wide receivers. If you put a true number one in here, like Odell Beckham or Michael Thomas, this wide receiver core is an A easily. But because there is no number one, this wide receiver core is a B. I would like to see a true number one, but they currently just don't have one. Then at tight end, we have Mike Gesicki and Durham Smythe, which I gave a B+, because those are two pretty good tight ends. I prefer 3 tight ends in the depth chart, but 2 is not bad, and especially if they're 2 decent tight ends, it works well, especially if they have potential still left on the board. Then at defensive end, we got John Jenkins and Taco Charlton, which I gave a C. It's just not that great, if I'm being honest. And at defensive tackle, we got Davin Goodshocks, which I gave a C again, because it's alright. Then at the other defensive end position, we got Christian Wilkins and Taco Charlton, which Taco does back up for both positions, but Christian Wilkins is a beast. Even though he has struggled showing it because no one else on that defense is good, he is a pretty good player. So I gave this position an A. Then we go to linebacker, where they got Sam Eguavoen, I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce it, who I gave a B because he's alright. He ain't spectacular, but he gets the job done. And then in the middle linebacker position, we got Jerome Baker and Raekwon McMillan, where I feel like we got some potential to go off of there. So it gave a B+. Then at the other linebacker position, I think it's just Raekwon McMillan there. I don't know. They're really thin on every single position. There's about no depth here. It's the same with cornerback, as I only put 2 names down at cornerback, in Xavier Howard and Eric Rowe, which is sad. But I still gave it B- because Xavier Howard. He's a stud. Number 1 cornerback in the league. Then free safety, we got Bobby McCain, which I gave it B- because there's no depth behind him, and he's an average player. Then strong safety, we got Rashad Jones, who I also gave B- because there's no depth behind him, and he's an average player. Which, even if they aren't average players this year, it's really hard to tell the stars from the average players on the Miami Dolphins. Every player this year just looked average, especially on the defensive side, just because defensive side and the offensive line, just because there's nothing there. If you're good, it's just no one else is there to help you, so you're kind of off by yourself in your own world, and you can't win a football game by yourself. Everybody knows that. So overall, I gave them a D. So, quick recap, as I gave the Patriots an A, the Bills a B+, Jets a C, and the Dolphins a D. So, what do you guys think? And how do you guys think these rosters in the NFC are like? Leave thoughts down below. And of course, if you have a suggestion for a new video, I'd like to hear it. And leave that down in the comments below. And who knows, your suggestion may just be the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Of course, make sure to click on the links down below if you want to join the Discord, as we do chat in there quite often. Also, my Instagram and Twitter links are down there if you want to check up on that, as I do keep active on those social media accounts. And of course, the Patreon links down below too if you want to support that, as I do post exclusive content on there from time to time. And of course, make sure you just keep that sports week flowing throughout the day.